I made it.
How are you?
I'm good. It's good to see you.
Glad to see you. For everyone who's watching, I'm so happy to get to talk to you with Fatima Gosgraves, who is the president and CEO of the National Women's Law Center. And the National Women's Law Center has been at the forefront of everything, fighting for women and girls for 50 years, for public policy, in the courts, in culture. Also, Fatima is one of the founders of the Time's Up Legal Defense Fund, which is run through the National Women's Law Center, which we are so grateful for and so proud of all the work you've done. So thank you. And thank you so much for joining. This is a necessary time to have this conversation.
Yeah, I'm so glad to be with you. And these are pretty serious times, but times to be in community, you know?
Absolutely. And I know that the National Women's Law Center does so much, but I know that you and your team have just come off of this incredibly crushing moment with the Supreme Court. Can you tell us a little bit about what we just lived through and witnessed as a country?
Yeah, I mean, I have to be honest, I'm still sort of shaken by what we've all witnessed in a Coney Barrett to the Supreme Court. Over 60 million people had already voted. The vote was the week before the final election day. And never in the history of our country have we done it this way. And Mitch McConnell basically set up a new rule, which was there are no rules. And for a democracy, which really does have to be governed by rules and by norms, for all of us to be able to count on that we'll get fairness when we have issues that come before courts, it's a pretty perilous time. And so here we are. They took that vote even with all of the outcry. And she was not only confirmed but sworn in on the same night. And now she is Justice Amy Coney Barrett. And our Supreme Court will not be the same.
It's really, I have chills from it. It feels like we're living through some very, very serious threats to democracy and certainly to the balance of power that we were taught about as, children. Now is a solidly conservative leaning court. What's at stake for all of us? What change in our everyday lives?
Yeah, I mean, so right away, the thing people should be watching is that there are a bunch of cases about this election that may head to the court. We've already seen that over the last couple of weeks about when you stop counting ballots, about who gets to vote. So that's one thing. So if you care about elections, you should care about the Supreme Court. The week after the election, the Affordable Care Act will be argued before the Supreme Court. So if you care about the millions of people who now have health insurance because of it, you should care about the court. Our reproductive freedom and ability to make decisions about when and whether and on what terms to have children. There are cases on their way to the court right now. And so whether it's that you care about criminal justice or immigration or climate, all of those are things that the court makes important decisions around. And those are the types of things that we will see come before the court this year and the years after.
Wow. It's really, it's so much. It's so much. What do we do? What can we do?
Yeah. So here's the thing. I don't want to sound down because sometimes you as a country, we have to be shaken. And that is what's happening right now. And I think of this as one piece of a long arc of history. We have had low times. So the first thing that people need to do if they're concerned about what has just happened with the Supreme Court is vote. We have an election in a week. And there are lots of us who are RBG voters. There are lots of us who care about the Supreme Court. People should vote, and vote early and vote. But the other thing is, it's not enough to just vote, because the people who get in office, whoever they may be, it is our job, all of our jobs, to hold them accountable, to demand something different, and really to demand that there be something to restore and re-legitimize the Supreme Court. It's fundamental, and it's clear it's broken. I've practiced law for almost 20 years. And I came up with a certain sense and belief in the court and in institutions, and I'm clear on this. We have to do something about what just happened.
It is so crucial to feel the trust in a court system that is apolitical, and the politicization of this whole process has been so aggressive and it's definitely very, very true. And what about after that, after the election, whatever administration, a new administration or a continuation of the administration, what are the fights going to look like in the next 4 years? What is ahead for the National Women's Law Center?
Well, so I know that we will continue to do works on the judiciary and the courts for sure. That will be front of mind. But, you know, people are still in real pain because of this pandemic. Millions of people have still lost their jobs. The unemployment rate for Black women is almost 12%. 1 in 3 are essential workers. COVID relief is essential. And so we are going to put all of our fight and might on ensuring that families in this country get what they need to be able to make it through this period. That is what I'm showing up for again and again. And that has to be a priority. And when I think about the ability for people in this country, and we've worked on this together, Natalie, the ability to be able to work with safety and with dignity, that becomes even more important in these times. People who I talk to are demanding that, and we got to fight for them. And then I have to talk to you about the care crisis in this country. You know, I'm doing the thing that so many mamas in this country, where you're like working and caregiving and homeschooling and all at once, and it is not sustainable. And there is something we can do about it. And so, you know, the team at the National Women's Law Center, they have been running intensely, and they need a break, but we also know we got to reboot, because the fights ahead of restoring things for people in this country are so deep and so important and so intense, and we're up for it. All of us have to be up for it.
Yeah, there's almost like a secret code, I feel like, between women, regardless of your political background, of just when you look at each other in the eyes, we know what we are doing right now. How we are living now is not going to be possible for much longer.
It's not sustainable.
It's too much. It's too much, and women bear the and also our children. Like, we see the impact and the toll it's taking on our children to be isolated from their friends, to be on screens, to be not with their classes, and not in their schools, and not in their activities, and not able to play sports. And I mean, it's really, and also, of course, for some people, it's so dramatic what people are going through economically and health-wise. Of course, have loved ones who are sick right now. Of course, and it's devastating that our government has put the priorities on getting someone into the court rather than focusing on helping American people in the worst crisis of my lifetime, for sure. I mean, our lifetime.
Of a century, right? I mean, it is too much, but I also think we are too much. And I think we are going to have to show them that again and again and again. I see people in this country that are struggling and kind of hanging on and sort of waiting for the focus and the attention that this issue deserves. We have to demand more.
Yeah, I love that. That's a great mantra. We are too much. We are too much. Reserves of power and energy that we didn't even realize we could tap into until now. And I'm definitely inspired by everyone who out there working 50 jobs for their families and their country. And I so appreciate what you've been doing and what the National Women's Law Center has been doing. Everyone can visit at National Women's Law Center, WLC.org, to find information. And please vote. Everybody vote early.
6 days.
Make sure you're voting. Make sure your parents are voting and your coworkers, everyone you know. Make sure, please, because this is fight for our lives.
Well, it's been so good to be with you. Vote, vote, vote. I hear my kids running up the stairs right now.
That's our life. We've got that. I see you know what I'm going through, and you know what all the other ladies are going through. So, oh man, thank you. And I hope you have a great rest of your week. And everyone who's watching, thank you so much for joining us. And yeah, let's
Thank you, Natalie.
okay. Thank you.
Take care.
Bye.